Well, tonight on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, there was an article that actually came out in Politico, and this article was focusing on Charlamagne Tha God, as you can see on the screen, Trouble with a God. And I actually looked at this article and kind of went through it and seen what they were talking about. So I want to kind of expound on that a little bit. Now, we know Charlamagne has, had Hillary on their show, The Breakfast Club. We know the famous interview with Biden where, Biden, you remember he said
You have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black.
So that you remember that famous, statement from Biden. And then even Larry Elder had to clown his behind about that. He didn't push back against Biden during that time, but he was out here encouraging everybody to go vote for Biden, go vote for Harris. He said the only reason he supported Biden is because Kamala got on the ticket, right? So Charlamagne right now is having voters remorse. On top of that, he's dealing with people constantly telling him, hey, Charlamagne, you told me to go vote for him. I voted for him. And look what's happening right now. Charlamagne, I'm in Chicago, right? Let's say you're a resident of Chicago and you listen to Charlamagne. You tell Charlamagne, hey, I voted for this guy. And we got people just pouring into the border all day long. They're in my city taking resources. It could be a brother or sister from New York where the show is hosted, right? Hey, Charlamagne, we listen to you, voted for Biden. Now look at our city. This wasn't like this when Trump was in office, bro. So he has to deal with that. See, y'all don't understand. When you get on these microphones, you got to be very careful in what you say. You got to be very careful on who you're going to put your weight behind. That's why you really don't, be careful who you put your weight behind with a politician, right? And if you're going to do that, say why you saying it, right? Now, you can't be, this guy is this guy that. No, it has to be a problem. And I told all of y'all, at the end of the day, it's your choice who you want. Now, if you want Biden, that's your business. I don't understand why. If you want to sit it out, that's cool too. If you want to vote for Trump, that's on you too. It's your choice in the day, not my choice. I'll just say how I personally feel about it. I am not me. I'm not voting for Democrats. It ain't happening. It's not. Not this. No, it's just not happening. I used to be a Democrat at one point in time in my life. I mean, most of all black people were Democrats, right? We were raised to be Democrats. We were raised that. That was our upbringing. Black people, Democrat. It was no Republican. Republicans were evil. Republicans were racist. That's how we was raised. Okay. So to tell a black person anything outside of Democrat, you going deep and messing with their upbringing. That's why you have such a hard time telling them anything outside of Democrat. Most black folks will sit it out a lot of times before they go to Republican. Now that's the old, we're talking about the older black people. Now, what I can't case as of yet, what would Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z do? Would they be that generation that's willing to say, okay, I may not agree with Trump on this, but I sure agree with him on the migrants. And we have to be the generation and be about our paper. It ain't about all that virtue signaling and all that mess like that. It's not making us a dollar. I'm sorry. I'm not on that. You can't tell me nothing about no LGBT because I can't feed my kids with LGBT. You can't tell me about abortion because I can't put no clothes on my kids' back. I can't keep the lights on. Our people that work with us can't get paid with abortion or nothing like that. I need finances to come in here so not only we can pay the people that work with us, pay myself, pay everybody got to get paid, right? Everybody got to get paid. So that stuff that the Democrats do, like I say, little side quests they focus on, has nothing to do with what matters at the end of the day. What matters at the end of the day is paper, getting that paper in your pocket. When they talk about Trump during the pandemic, Trump made sure everybody got a stimulus check. Black folks calling it stimmies, right? It got so crazy with the stimmies. Instead of using it for that, some people's going over to the Dominican Republic. You remember that video, going to get BBLs and all that with the stimmies. It was crazy seeing those videos, right? But whatever people did with their stimulus check, that's what they did. Some people saved it. Some people did a whole lot of great things with their money. During the time of Trump, which Charlamagne agreed about this, the First Step Act happened. Well, you had brothers and sisters get out of jail. Biden was the guy that put black folk in jail. Black folks that would have today a medical condition, which is an addiction, right? He wanted them in jail, and he wanted them to serve 85% of the time in jail before they even be eligible for parole. This was Biden did that. And black folks like Charlamagne encouraged them to go out and vote. Well, you know, Boulay Martin, that's all he is. He's just a Democrat, right? Well, Charlamagne jumped on the train. So Charlamagne got a lot of egg on his face right now. So all the egg is on his face. People are criticizing him. He don't like it. It messed with his reputation. He's angry. So when you make someone like that advocated for you angry, now they become a thorn in your side, right? And that's what the Democrats look at with Charlamagne. Now, all the shills have called Charlamagne. I know the Angela Rise have called him. The Tiffany Cross have called him. All the females, because that's what they'll do. They'll send a black woman to you to try to, oh, come on, brother. No, I know they send them to him because you can't tell no man to talk to him. So they're going to send the women, right? Well, Charlamagne right now, he's standing on business because it's that bad, Democrats. And if you think Charlamagne Tha God is a problem for you, like I said, Charlamagne's nice. I have been on a total focus campaign on telling my people what you have done, not making up no lies on you, what you have done. If you look at my podcast, at first, I didn't create it to be talking about no Democrats. Really, I want to talk about other things. But I say, wait a minute. The Democrat Party is a menace to my community. My community have came out and voted for these people for over half a century, 60 years already. But it's well over half a century. We have got nothing. The migrants didn't vote at all. And they come across the border and they get resources. You doggone right I'm going to say something. Why do you think more and more black people are saying, wait a minute, hold on, man. Hold on. What is this? This can't fly. Then, like I said, you got some people still silly talking about, well, how come oppressed people talking about oppressed people? I'm worried about my oppression. I'm not worried about nobody else's oppression right now. When my oppression's over and then my community is taken care of, then I can actually help somebody else's oppression because I can help them in an abundance. But I can't help you when I'm still oppressed. I can't help you. And it's not my job to. Because black folks been oppressed forever and nobody trying to fix that. Every time you look up, black folks getting sabotaged and everything else. So no, we worrying about the oppression of black folk. That's all I'm going to focus on. The oppression of black people globally. Right in America and also globally. That's it. Everybody else going to have to get it out the mud and do it how they going to do it. But the Democrats have taken us for granted for the last time, in my opinion. Like I said, a Democrat can't get me to vote for him. You just can't. The only way I'll vote for a Democrat, unless I know you personally and I know your work in the community and I know you not on that regular Democrat stuff, that's the only way I can vote for a Democrat. I have to know you personally. If I don't know you personally, if I don't know your work in the community and that sort of thing, I'm going to say 10 times out of 10, no. I will not vote for no Democrat. I'll sit it out before I vote for a Democrat. And just because a person Republican don't mean I'm going to vote for him either, because I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm politically independent. So I don't have no ties to none of their political parties. Ain't nobody giving me money nowhere. So I wouldn't want it because you're not going to give me money, then I got to advocate. No, I don't have to advocate for nothing. If you're going to donate something over here, it's because you like it. And I don't want nobody donating. I'd rather you join our African Diaspora News Channel app, download it from Google Play and the Apple App Store. Once you download it, just click a video in the news section like that. It'll say sign in. They got a section that says create account, create your account, choose a membership, whether it's a month, quarterly or yearly, and join us over there. We covering things that we're not talking about on this section, because I'll tell you this. Things will start becoming reduced with time, the free stuff. So make sure you be over there so you can get everything. We, as people on these microphones, got to make sure we keep our ear to the street. Listen to this. Know what the temperature is. Look out what the politicians are doing. What is their record before we throw our weight behind anybody? And we don't throw our weight behind a person. We throw our weight behind policy. It's not about the person or personality. I don't care. This guy is racist. Let me tell you something. It don't matter if they're Democrat or Republican. They both racist. I told you, as black people, we deal with racism in every aspect of this country. We're going to deal with racism. But the key is, it's not about the racism. Because look, I can deal with racism. I got plenty for them. The issue is I need to get what I need to get out of whoever it is to bring that bag home. That's what I got to get. Or whatever policy is going to benefit my community, I got to deal with that. Right? But Charlamagne is out here saying that Trump has a better message. He's out here saying Trump has no problem getting in people's face. He has no problem going in on people. He keeps saying Biden too soft. Biden don't say nothing. Biden didn't want everybody to be so moral. He ended up saying in that article that he don't need his politicians to be moral. He just needs them to get something done. And that's really what everybody want. Everybody want their particular politician to get things done. That's it. Once again, I'll go back to when Trump came in. Trump came in first day. He already doing some executive orders, whatever. Everybody like, what? The first day? Obama, I can't do this. Republicans blocking me. The Republicans blocking me. He kept complaining all the time. Republicans blocking him. But then the first day Trump got in office, he started doing something. You know what I'm saying? So this is the thing. The Democrats are not dedicated to doing anything for black people. And that's what I need my black people to understand. They're not dedicated to you. You've been dedicated to the Democrat Party for over half a century, and they have not done nothing for you. Listen to what they even talk about to this day. Voting rights. Oh, we need voting rights. Black people already have voting rights. Who you talking about? I know who you're talking about. You're talking about those new Americans you want to come in here, right? All the migrants. You want to use us and our ancestors and the blood spilled by our ancestors to piggyback into what we have going on so they can be extended voting rights. Understand? So you always try to use us to funnel resources and rights to everybody else. They did that to every single community, whether it's LGBT, feminist, whatever. They always try to use our struggle. And my issue is this with these groups of people. Go fight your own battles and you deal with the struggle on your own. Leave us out of it. Because you know what? We need our best and brightest in our community. Just like the story you seen with at Harvard by Dr. Claudine Gay and how they got her out of there, right? Our best and brightest need to stop going to these PWI institutions, whether they elite or not. They need to be educating at HBCUs and using our best and brightest at our institutions. And notice even with that, Democrats, y'all didn't even come and defend that woman. Where was all those women groups that defend women? Where were the feminists defending Dr. Claudine Gay? Nowhere to be found at all. That's why I tell black women, you can't join these little groups with your so-called white sisters is because they're not going to defend you. They're always going to stand up and defend white supremacy, whether they defend it openly or they're silent sometimes. They're more silent when you're being attacked. But when something going on with them, they want you to do a women's march. You understand? Charlamagne and his voters' remorse and also his embarrassment, because Charlamagne is embarrassed. He's embarrassed that he has to deal with this, so he's going to attack. And the problem with Democrats, which you have to understand, you got to be careful who you're attacking, because someone that has the gift of gab, someone that has the ability to talk to people and convince people certain things, you don't want them to be your enemy. You want to be friends with them. And I know you think Boulay Martin has a gift of gab. Nobody listening to him. Democrats, have you actually went to his comment section and seen how the people are going in on him for refusing to speak about the migrants in Chicago? Have you seen that, Democrats? Y'all waste money on people that y'all shouldn't be wasting money on. If y'all actually would be honest and do the right thing for black folk, you ain't got to go spend no money like that. Then they got a new show I just saw coming out, new podcast with Andrew Gillum. And you remember his situation with all the bussy stuff. Andrew Gillum, Angela Rye, and Tiffany Cross. They all getting together to do a podcast that's supposed to be coming out. I said, oh God, really? I said, this is what we doing? So I guess they gonna get y'all told about voting for Democrat and try to convince you to vote for Democrat. I was wondering where old Tiffany Cross was gonna come back out there, but it's just so interesting is that these people, if you are talented, why do you need to always go through the folks to have a platform? You can't create one on your own? It ain't no way. If I was on MSNBC for at least a good year and they kicked me out of there, that I couldn't go start my own stuff right then and there. Hell, I would have had it going if it wasn't in my contract. I would have had it going the whole time, right? People already know you. Go ahead and start your platform. But what I realized, some people can't do this. Like some people think it's easy just to talk, but they can't do the behind the scenes stuff it takes to build a platform. It's more work behind the scenes than it is right here, beyond with you. It's a lot. And some people, what I've experienced over the years, some people aren't dedicated enough. They need the system to do it, right? They don't want to worry about editing. They don't want to worry about thumbnails. They don't worry about uploads and learning policies of platforms or even creating their own platforms, their own apps. And they don't want to have editors and graphic design and business management and dealing with CPA, the company, and dealing with, the new beneficial ownership report that you better make sure you filled out if you got an LLC. They don't want to deal with all those issues and problems. They just want to show up to work and collect a check. And that's okay. That's actually okay. Because, listen, I understand everybody can't be an entrepreneur. I get that. Some people do better just doing the work, and that's great. We need that. But I guess I look at it from a different aspect. I guess Tiffany just want to collect a check. But in this day and time, we live in a day and time that we can create our own checks. So why do you want to beg the people to? I don't know. I just can't relate to that. Because the folks have never gave me nothing on the lane. They never gave me no platform, none of that. I had to get it out the mud. Y'all know I started my doggone bathroom. Who been following me? I was doing videos in front of a shower curtain. Y'all know that, who been following me all the way since back then, in front of a doggone shower curtain. And I went from the shower curtain to where I'm at today, and we're going to go even further as the time go ahead. We are. But it took me believing in myself to do it. And say, you know what? I'm going to dedicate this time. I'm going to keep grinding when nobody was watching. I'm going to go through all the ups and downs I went through over the years and the drama and all the different things I went through over the years. I'm going to go through that. And let me tell you something. There are people today that when I started and all the drama and all that stuff, they ain't nowhere to be found today. Nowhere. Phil, he's still standing. Because I learned certain things with principles that I can apply, and these other people, where they seemed so hot at one point in time, they went away. You got to learn how to engage staying power. But the thing is, you have to be authentic with yourself and have your ear with the people. That's really what it is. And don't be doing gimmicky things. The Democrats, what they think is that they're going to have black folks forever. And like I said, that older generation, I talked about this earlier today on the live stream on African Diaspora. The silent generation and the baby boomers, they got them on lock. But the Gen X, millennial, Gen Z is their problem. That's their problem. And every election cycle, they're losing more and more voters with the silent generation and the baby boomer. They're losing voters and they're not being replaced. So the Democrats, they're going to have to eventually deal with black folks and deal with these issues and problems. But this new black have no problem going to Trump or sitting it out. They just don't have no problem. Now, we still got some black folks who got to work with, they still in their emotions and stuff like that. Like I said, I have to even take patience with that because I have to remember I'm messing with their upbringing. I'm messing with them to the core when I talk against Democrat. I mean, talking about Democrats, I'm only talking about one of their children. You know what I'm saying? So I got to be patient with them. But I'm seeing more and more people waking up, right? And like I told y'all, this election cycle that's going on, I'm going to watch and I'm going to pay attention. I'm going to pay attention to how black folk move, how we vote, whatever. But just the temperature that I'm seeing is that the Democrats, the only way they'll win, from how I'm looking at it, they either have to give cash payment reparations That would be the only way they can win. Cash paper reparations. They would have to give an anti-black hate crime bill. That'll be the only way they can win. Probably would have to get rid of qualified immunity for the race soldiers. That's probably another way they possibly could win. Doing some big stimulus checks. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of things they could do, but they're not going to do. Because the Democrats don't want the police to lose qualified immunity. They don't want that. Because you understand, the police is the foot soldiers of white supremacy. If they can't call them to handle black folk, then they in trouble. They in big time trouble. So they never gonna. Biden has given more money to the police. Remember, he said we're gonna fund them and fund them and fund them and fund them. Like I said, that's how Biden feel. And y'all went out there and vote for that guy that's talking about funding the police. They get more funding than anybody else. They have a lot of funding outside the military. They got money. They funded them to lock folks up, basically. But the Democrats got a long road ahead that's coming up. Long road ahead. The election, they say, is in about 300 days already. Trust me, them days they're gonna go quick. Look how fast 2023 went, y'all. Look how fast it went. The election gonna come up, and like I said, I'm ready. I want to see. Let me tell y'all what I want to see. I want to see. Definitely the Democrats lose, but I want to see, trust me, I'm going to run to that program if the Democrats lose. I want to see that program on Boulay Martin. Oh, I want to see his face. Oh, that's the guy I want to see face the Democrats. Oh, boy, I would get a kick. I'm pretty sure I'll get cussed out that night. I'm pretty sure. Because, yeah, he'll cuss me out. Oh, he'll be cussing me every which way. Because, like I said, I'm on the Democrats. And I'll be circling back to him, too. Because, and I was going to mess with him, but I said, you know what, let me leave him alone because I don't want to send Boulay Martin and give him some a stroke or something. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to let him make it. I'm going to stick to the Democrats. But all that Democrat shilling, that industry's done. In 2024, it's done. I'm going to repeat that again. Democrat shilling is done. That you can't do that no more. It don't work. You can't shame us no more. Don't work. Can't use our ancestors. They not here no more. You can't. What you gonna say? You know what I'm saying? I got my voting rights. What you gonna talk about? You can't use that on me about they died. I got my voting rights. Now we need to finish the job of the ancestors and get our reparations. That's what we need to do. We need to finish the job. I'm not trying to live off of past wins. I want future wins. I want wins today. That way my kids look at, hey, during my dad's time, they did this. Now, in my time, we going to do this. Don't be sitting up here trying to live off of the past. No, it's great, the victories that we've had, but we got current victories to finish. The job isn't finished. It is not finished. We haven't got reparations. We don't have an anti-black hate crime bill. And in the midst of that anti-black hate crime bill, anti-black racism needs to be condemned. Just like they condemn anti-Semitism, we need it condemned. We need all industries audited to see how they treat black folks, especially the banks and the hospitals. It's not a coincidence that only in Western countries or white-ran countries, black women die at high rates during childbirth. In Western countries only. Outside of that, we don't have them problems. And we know it's because of racism and white supremacy. I just read a horrible comment on TikTok earlier that, boy, I was like, wow. This one sister said that a white doctor told her while she was going under for a C-section, he whispered in her ear, I'm going to make sure you don't have no more children. And she wasn't going there for nothing like that. That's why we have these issues and problems with black women. That's why I always tell black folks, find you a black doctor, find you a black gynecologist, find them. Find them. Whatever you got to do, if you got to go move somewhere, if your wife pregnant for a time, so your wife can go to a good black gynecologist and have her baby with a good black doctor, do that. Because, man, we don't trust these people, man. Man, that comment ran through me. And that's so sinister. Jesus, that's sinister. And once again, the Democrats don't do nothing about it either. And black people live in a lot of these Democrat-run cities. So there you go. Democrats do nothing. Nothing whatsoever but lip service. But let me know what y'all think, about Charlamagne up here and now he's on the Democrats behind and all of that. And like I said, that's good, but you should never advocated for Biden in the first place, Charlamagne. You should have never did that, brother. You should have never did that. Now you got to eat cake.